today's topic is Kell Brook versus Errol Spence Jr. A fight that took like 20 years to make. This is not my official breakdown. This is just wanted to talk about this fight. It's a highly anticipated fight. A lot of people were looking forward to this fight. I'm a big fan of both guys, and in my opinion, I feel like this is Brook's fight to lose. To me, he waited too long to take this kid on. Like, it's like if they would have fought 3 years ago and Errol Spence was about 24, Brook was what, 28, 29. And Brook was a really athletic fighter, man. He's really quick reflexes, could tie you up. He deals with pressure extremely well. But I feel like at this point in his career, you've waited too long to take this kid on. Because what last year, Kell Brook opted to get some money in his pocket by taking on the monster at 160 pounds. And one, he let a lot of information out the bag because we learned that, you know what, Kell Brook is not a 147. Kell Brook is walking around at 180, 190 pounds and sweating this weight off and coming in at 147, but he still looked great at 147. But now, this is years later after the incident where he was stabbed in the thigh, and I really haven't seen too much slowdown from him, but I mean, sometimes injuries can take a while to catch up to you. Also, in the Triple G fight, I mean, he was stopped, which, I mean, it came to no surprise to anybody because he'd never been in a situation where he took power shots from a bigger guy like that in a pro-level fight. I mean, maybe in sparring or something like that, but in a pro-level fight, he had never been in with somebody that was that heavy, that hit that hard. So, I mean, we all knew that he was going to lose that fight, but he broke his orbital bone. And now we're less than a year later, and I don't know if you're fully healed. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's no way that injury is going to fully heal up in less than 6 months. I'm sorry. I'm no doctor. I'm no physician. I'm not a nurse, a medical tech, or anything like that. But that's just my humble opinion. And now you're coming in here with the thigh injury lingering, with the eye injury lingering, and you're going in with probably one of the most highly respected contenders of the last 5 years coming up, and a kid who's no slouch. I mean, we first learned about Errol Spence years ago, maybe what, 5 or 6 years ago, when Mayweather had a black eye. Which just shows you how good Mayweather is. I mean, Mayweather got a black eye in sparring. And people, oh my goodness, Floyd, who did this to you? And Floyd finally came out and said, you know what, it's a young kid, Errol Spence, man. And that right there, I think, is what made a lot of the hardcore boxing fans big fans of Errol Spence. But now, even on the Errol Spence side, I actually heard a couple of fighters talking on the internet about this. And it's something that I noticed too. I'm not sure how much of a punch Errol Spence can take because on occasion, from time to time, somebody has hit him clean and just the facial expressions and the body language that's there, it looks like it hurt. And I've been in the boxing for a long time. A lot of, and we'll just use Floyd Mayweather as an example. Floyd's early days, people actually clipped Floyd hard, man, like the knee buckle and all that. But in his face and in his body language, his response was relaxed. It was he was well collected, and he came right back in there and did what he had to do. Errol, on the other hand, I've seen him make some squeamish looks from time to time. So now what's going to happen when he's getting in here with Kell Brook? And honestly, if I was in the background of Team Brook, I would be looking to, yes, make the 147 limit, but we're not trying to stay at that weight once we rehydrate. So rehydration, you should actually be up at 160. And if Kell Brook can move like Kell Brook moved at 147, weighing 160, Errol Spence got a big problem on his hands, man. But either way, I mean, I think this is a great fight. Right now, I'm not sure if it's going to be a pay-per-view event or if HBO is just covering it. But this should actually be a great fight, and we're going to learn a lot about these two fighters. And really, in my opinion, Kell should have took this fight a long time ago. Like, bringing up Floyd once again as an example, Floyd didn't wait until Canelo got 30 years old to say, okay, I'm going to fight you now. No, he fought the kid when the kid was young. He was hungry. He asked for the fight, but he was so inexperienced at that level that he didn't have an honest shot. I mean, let's just be real here. He didn't have an honest shot at beating Floyd. And sometimes being the older guy, that's what you got to look at. This kid he's strong, he's fast, he's athletic, but he's inexperienced. He's never been in a situation like this. And I'm also thinking too, because Errol Spence likes to go to the body hard, and he puts guys down. You know what I'm saying? And I wonder how he would deal with a Kell Brook in the same situation that Sean Porter had to deal with a guy who was going to pop shots, a guy who was going to throw lead rights and tie you up. I wonder how a Errol Spence is going to deal with that, especially being in Kell Brook's hometown. And we're looking at about, they said the stadium holds 32,000 people. You got to figure at least 25,000 of these folks are coming out there to see Kell Brook. He's the hometown, the guy, the favorite, So you're going to have about 5,000 fans out there, which means it's going to be nearly impossible for Errol Spence to win by decision on the cards overseas, which means Errol has to win by knockout. Where on the other hand, Kell Brook, he can tie him up, pop shots all night, and win an easy decision. I mean, so this is going to be an interesting fight. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. One of the better fights of the year, and proud of Kell Brook for taking this fight. I mean, you can't say no more than that, because there were rumors floating around that he was trying to get Cotto interested. He's trying to get a Manny Pacquiao interested. But those veterans are smart enough to know what they see when they look at a Kell Brook, which is a night full of problems, a guy who could make you look bad. Where Errol Spence, being the young guy, he's just looking at it like, you're not going to be able to stand up to my power. I'm going to go to the body early, bring the hands up. You're going to go down like everybody else. So, I mean, let's stay tuned. I'll try to keep you fans updated with how the training is going, how Kell Brook's weight is looking. Because remember that Kell Brook was actually up at, 176, I think 30 days before the Triple G fight. So, I mean, that's not what you want to see in this type of matchup, that type of weight being so high up as we get to about 30 or 45 days to the fight, because that means that instead of sharpening the skills, sharpening the tool set, Kell Brook's going to be looking to sweat off the weight. And that's not what you want to see, and I can almost guarantee if that's the situation for Kell Brook, he loses this fight badly. All right, folks, the Mighty Mean Joe Frazier, 1.